On Tuesday, Ogden City residents voted for their new mayor. The race was between Mike Caldwell and Brandon Stevenson, both graduates of Weber State University. Mike Caldwell won the election with 61% and Brandon Stevenson getting 37%. We are glad to have Mike Caldwell join us today to talk about some of his plans as the next mayor. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, Morgan.
In the last few years, a lot of improvements have been seen in the image of Ogden. A lot of stuff downtown, like the Junction, for instance. What are your plans to help continue that image growth?
Well, part of what we've seen with the new energy and excitement downtown too is coupled with events. And last year I was president of the Goal Foundation. It's the Olympic Legacy group that we've had here for a number of years. And we produced and supported the Dew Tour, the USA National Championships, the Tour of Utah. We produce and run the Ogden Marathon, and a whole bunch of different things that brought 70,000 different participants as either race athletes, volunteers, or spectators into the community. Had 16,000 volunteer hours to put all of that together, and about $5 million in economic impact. And we were also recognized. Those events have brought media in and have given us attention in ways that we had mentions in the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. In 2009, we were recognized by Outside Magazine, Rock and Ice, and National Geographic Adventure as one of the top 10 best places to live in the United States. So bringing those new people in with fresh eyes and perspectives to see what we have as, in my opinion, one of the best places to live, work, and play in the United States has been critical. So we'll continue to work to support those different groups. I was also president of the Convention and Visitors Bureau and board chair of that group. So as those conventions come in and those different events, it's great for tourism and the economic impact, but it really showcases our community. There are not very many communities still in the Western United States that kept that historic core. And they're certainly not communities in that Western U.S. with that historic core that has a university like Weber State so close, two rivers that converge in the downtown, world-class skiing within 20 minutes, canyons. I mean, it's a really amazing place with infrastructure that nobody can duplicate.
And a lot of having those events and growing all that, key to that is transportation. And we've also seen a pretty big transportation boost with like Front Runner, and there's a free trolley going downtown. What more would you like to see done with transportation? Well,
there are a number of different proposals on the table right now. The streetcar's been one that everybody's talked about. They've talked about is rubber wheel busing going to make more sense. In 2000, I believe it was 7, we passed a 1/4-cent sales tax, and all of that money got bankrolled, and the Weber Area Council of Governments kind of dictate where those funds go. So there are millions of dollars there, and they work with UTA and UDOT to kind of identify key projects. And Ogden City proper, we want to make sure that we use that money now that it's available to improve our infrastructure. So there have been a number of studies for the streetcar and different bus routes. I was not the mayor when those studies have gone on, so I've been reading up on those, and we'll put all of those key stakeholders in the same room together and revisit everything that they've talked about and see what makes sense. Regardless of the project we pick, it's going to require a great deal of federal funding to make them successful. And right now with the federal government, we had the debt ceiling issue this summer. Yes. The purse strings in the federal government really got tightened, and so it might be a timing issue as well as what project makes the most economic sense and we believe is the most sustainable. So there are a lot of moving pieces there, and I look forward to really drilling into that when I take office in January.
Okay, one of the other really big issues right now, not only in Ogden but across the country, is the economy. What do you see being done, and what do you plan to do to help the Ogden economy grow?
Well, there are a couple key things that we need to do and stay focused on to help Ogden's economy. That being said, let me just caveat that with a month ago we were recognized by an outside agency. The Standard Examiner reported the story as being the second best, most successful community in job growth in the nation. So we're doing some really positive things in the community. The Economic Development Department downtown right now is doing a great job, so when something's real successful, you don't go in and look to retool and fix that. You look to go in and support it and give it some more energy and excitement, which is something I will certainly look to do. Right now in this economic environment as well, 8 80% of job growth in any community, regardless of economic environments, comes from local business growth. So if we're going to grow jobs and keep local job growth, we need to make sure that our local businesses are expanding and growing. We'll certainly look to partner with the state on bringing other companies in and recruitment, but in this economic climate, people aren't really taking all of those monies and making that huge investment to come in and take that, almost a year to retrain your whole staff and do the build out and everything else. We had some great lands in 2007 and 8 before the economic recession hit. Everybody's kind of taking a holding pattern right now. So right now, initially out of the gates, we'll really focus on local job growth and supporting those local businesses.
Okay. One of the things that I know will help the economy is tourism. And you mentioned like the marathon. I know there's other events that help bring people in. What do you plan to do to see tourism grow as well?
Well, I was, as I mentioned just a moment ago, the president and CEO of the Convention Visitors Bureau. And so I worked with the Utah Office of Tourism and the governor's office to bring in different events. I think it's critical that we bring those events in and show our community to new people. There's a new 155-room hotel going in downtown right now, so it's critical that we have conventions to fill that hotel and make sure that that's profitable and that fills those restaurants. We get over $3 million. Weber County gets over $3 million per year in tourism-related taxes, and that's restaurant tax, transient room tax, and leased vehicle tax. And that's directly trackable. So they help fund the Convention and Visitors Bureau and the Ogden Eccles Conference Center. It's critical that we all work together to do everything we can to keep that tourism piece strong. We've seen a huge increase in skier visits in the last number of years. The Dew Tour and some of those international events that have come and helped showcase Snow Basin and Powder Mountain and Wolf Mountain have really helped, I think, increase our skier traffic. We also have funded a ski shuttle that goes from the different hotels. It's a free shuttle that goes from the different hotels and delivers people to the mountains all day and brings them back to the hotel. So now you can get into downtown Ogden and jump on a free shuttle if you're a guest in one of the hotels and get straight up to the mountain, and that's really helped. So we've put a lot of pieces in place that have helped really drive that, and I think we have some real unique opportunities ahead of us to continue with that. And having been an events organizer and president of the Convention Visitors Bureau, I really know how all those moving pieces work, so I can help support and direct traffic.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, my pleasure.
We look forward to you becoming mayor.
Thank you very much. Me too.
Once again, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure you catch all of our shows on our YouTube and Facebook channels, as well as weaverstatenews.org.